Did you know that in the United States, only 5% of working adults will find financial freedom, and the other 95% will struggle their entire lives with money and finances, trying to retire, working when they don't want to, but working because they have to past retirement age, and not being able to live the life that they want. What's amazing is you can change that for yourself and for your family just by making a few simple changes in your life. And today I'm gonna give you 5 simple frugal habits that you can use to get out of debt and build a life of financial freedom so you can be part of the 5%. So hook me up with a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and let's talk all about money today. Early in my marriage, we had no money. We didn't have a lot of money for a very, very long time because I was a stay-at-home mom of 4 children and I was married to a school teacher. That first year of school teaching, my husband made $27,000 a year after 4 years of college and passing the teacher's certifications. And getting hired at a school district. Yeah, that was several years ago, so the pay is a little bit higher for school teachers now, but if you work in the education system, you know what I'm saying. Raising a family of 6 on one teacher's salary is incredibly challenging, and I did it for a really long time. And here are the things that I learned that helped us get out of debt and buy our first house and start saving for retirement, even on a low income. Okay, the first tip that I'm gonna tell you is to automate everything. And what I mean by that is you set your monthly budget, and going over the numbers constantly is very, very stressful. You don't want to look at the numbers every day or every other day. That's not fun. So when I say automate everything, these days it's all about putting everything on auto pay, doing paperless billing, and just typing that line item into your budget and then not thinking about it ever again. You can pretty much automate everything. I'm trying to think of anything that I don't automate, and the only thing that comes to mind is charitable giving is one that I actually put effort into every month, but utility bills, done. Homeowners, car insurance, yes. Any subscriptions that you have, those are automated. Mortgage payments, those should be automated. Savings, you can automate all of those. I guess like gas and groceries isn't automated because you have to pay for it when you do it, but everything else, just automate all of it so you're not constantly cycling in your head, oh my gosh, I gotta pay these bills, oh my gosh, is this all the money we have left? Oh, I forgot to pay blah, blah, blah bill. You don't wanna do that. You don't wanna forget to pay a bill and then have a late fee or have services shut off. You don't want that. So just automate it all. If you have not automated it all, do it now. And if you are keeping your paper bills, stop it. Stop that now. Once the bill is paid, shred it and toss it. You do not need to keep that stuff. Everything is kept online for multiple years at this point, and no one's gonna ask you what you paid for your electricity bill 2 years ago. Like, nobody cares. Just get rid of all that paper. You don't need that in your life. You don't need the stress or the clutter or the mental energy going towards bills and paper when you can automate it. Okay, number 2 is to prioritize your spending. What this means is you're gonna be choosing what you are going to spend your money on and what you don't want to spend your money on. And there's 3 things that people spend the bulk of their budget on every single month, and it's your housing, your car, and your food. Those are typically the top 3 expenses in everybody's budget. So we know that that's gonna take the bulk of your money, your housing, your car, and your food. And if we can find ways to minimize the expenditures for the 3 main budget expenses, your money will go a whole lot further. What does that mean? Buying an older car instead of a newer car, making sure you don't get any tickets or get into wrecks so your insurance is lower, driving less so you're not filling up the car with gas as often, going from 3 cars to 2 cars, 2 cars to 1 car. This can all save you money. Cars are a liability, which means they take all your money instead of earning you money. You can house hack. You can buy an older house, a smaller house, move to a cheaper area to live in. And then as far as food goes, friends, I have an ebook with my top 10 ways to save money on groceries. I'll leave it below if you want. If you want more specific help from me to you guys, I want you to sign up down below for my waiting list to potentially get onto my coaching group. Okay, so now that we've cut the expenses on some of the biggest budget busters in your budget, what you're gonna do is go through the rest of your budget and eliminate the things that don't matter that much. your list is gonna look different than my list. Like, I don't care about going out to eat. To be fair, I don't live in a place with great restaurants. Listen, I was gifted a gift card to Olive Garden recently. I haven't been to an Olive Garden in over 10 years, I think. But I remember like liking the soup and salad. It was like $6. And the zuppa toscana is pretty tasty, and who doesn't love the breadsticks? My zuppa toscana that I make at home is better. Like, it was better. The salad was kind of meh. It wasn't as good as I remember. Our bill for 3 people, like, I got the soup and salad. It was $13 for the soup and salad. Our bill was $70 for 3 people at Olive Garden. What? What? Going out to eat is not worth it to me. If that's your thing, that's totally fine. I like to spend my money on a national parks pass every year. It's $80 for the entire year. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, so you wouldn't spend that on you. I'm saying prioritize what's important to you and eliminate everything that's not. Number 3 is setting effective goals. I have found as I've gotten older that most people don't set great goals. They're not specific. You know, you've heard of SMART goals, specific, measurable, actionable. I forgot what the R is. The T is like time dependent or something like that.
I'm just woefully out of touch.
What we have to do is, I really like James Clear's approach in Atomic Habits, is you take the thing that you want to do and you break it down into something really, really small. And so you create a more effective goal. So for example, instead of saying, I want to retire at 55, a millionaire, like that's maybe the big goal at the end, it's too big, it's too generic. It's how are you going to get there? How does you make that work? So we take a smaller goal, like I'm gonna save $50 a week and I'm gonna automate it into an emergency fund. And then when the emergency fund is full, I'm going to transition that $50, hopefully by then it'll be $100, into retirement. Let's say you're getting out of debt and you have $1,000 that you have to pay on a credit card or whatever it is. So you're gonna say every week when I get paid, I'm putting $50 towards my credit card, or $100 or $200 or whatever it is that you wanna do. Maybe it's I'm gonna have a garage sale and I'm gonna put every dime on the credit card to pay it off as soon as possible. We're creating much smaller goals. And because some of these financial goals are really challenging, like paying off your house, like when we were paying off our house, it was too big, it was too overwhelming. So what we did is we created $5,000 increments, and it would take us 6 months to pay off $5,000. And every time we hit $5,000, we got a reward of some kind, a date night, a new pair of shoes. Every $5,000 was an accomplishment. So we took the goal and broke it smaller, and you could go even smaller than that. At the very beginning, and when we were saving for our emergency fund, it was like $100 a month that we could put towards the emergency fund as we were trying to build a 3-month emergency fund. It took forever. So we took extra jobs and we sold stuff so we could get our financial goal. So choose what your financial goals are, make them more effective by breaking them down into a smaller scale. Number 4 is to learn as much as possible. You know what I really love about the internet is you can learn freaking anything. You can learn how to fix a car. You can fix a dryer that broke, the ice maker in your fridge. And yes, you can learn all about finances. You can learn about taxes and college retirement funds, how to invest, how much money you need to retire, how to find a car for cheaper, how to negotiate cheaper rates. Anything that you want to learn about money, you can go on the internet and learn. I really like the forums. So there's one called the Boggleheads forums that I really enjoy, and then I like Mr. Money Mustache's forums because you're talking to real people. If you're looking for a podcast or YouTube channel, I really like the one I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He really goes into a lot of the psychology about why people spend the way that they do and breaks down very simplistically how to deal with a budget. I really enjoy his quite a bit. It's not only what you find by watching or listening to his podcast or videos is that it's not only people who don't make a lot of money. He deals with very, very wealthy people who still don't know how to handle money. People who make $600,000 a year, like astronomical amounts of money, who have no money, because it's all about learning habits no matter how much money you make. That being said, if there's a money topic you want me to do a deep dive on, I am looking for new topics for my podcast right now and new budget submissions for my podcast. If you want to leave your questions down in the comments, I will be pulling those for future podcast episodes. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, number 5 is patience. And I know you're really gonna hate that one, but my friends, the time is going to pass anyway. I started life insurance in 2009. I had 3 small kids and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I depended 100% on my husband's income to support us. If something happened to him, it would have broken me financially. If something had happened to me, it would have broken him financially because he needed a full-time caretaker for 3 children. So we did life insurance for the 2 of us. We started working on paying off our house like pretty much in 2009. And we sold a house and bought a house and moved a couple of times in there. So it wasn't always one house. It takes so long. And we've been saving in like 401ks and IRAs for 15 years. And only just now, after 15 years, we can look at the balance and be like, oh, we're actually making a little bit of progress. It took us 15 years, but we got a house paid off. It feels like climbing a mountain. I know that because I've climbed a few mountains. And the path, all you can see is right in front of you. And when you look up at the top, it's overwhelming and you can't see the path. You can't see the way to go when you climb a mountain, but you put your head down, but you can see the next few steps. So you take the next few steps and you do that for hours and hours and miles and miles. And eventually, over the course of time of doing these tiny little baby steps over and over, you look behind you and you say, holy crap. I think I've done it. I think I just climbed a mountain. But my friends, it's gonna take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of working on this before you see huge progress. So big that you say, oh my gosh, we can retire. Oh my gosh, maybe we can travel a little bit more, but it's gonna take 15 years. Here's the other thing is if you don't take these steps, the 15 years will pass anyway. So you'll look back behind you and you'll either be exactly where you started or you'll be on top of a mountain. So I'm encouraging you to make the steps right now so that when the 15 years pass, because they will, you'll be on top of a mountain. And your mountain can be anything. Paying off all your debts, getting an emergency fund, paying off a house, funding college for kids, retirement. Maybe it's a big trip you want to take, whatever it is, whatever financial goals that you have, you can accomplish them by being present and aware and just making a couple different decisions every single day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me so much. I know this is kind of a different video for me, but I want to talk to you about money today, about how you can get financially free later in life. So you're not the 95% of Americans who struggle their whole lives. I don't want that for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to make as much money as you can, save as much money as you can so you can live the life that you want. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, here at the end, if you want one more big tip on getting out of debt, this is specifically getting out of debt and building that emergency fund at the very beginning. It is all about the side hustles. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that. But my husband and I did not make enough money to pay the bills, save for the future, and pay off the debt. And it took him a couple of years of being a school teacher in a classroom before he realized that that career path was not going to pay the bills for a family. Maybe you picked a career path that isn't going to pay the bills, and it is okay to shift careers. That's what he did. He pivoted careers, changed careers. He still works in education, but he's not a teacher anymore. Got an advanced degree. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying we realized that we didn't want to work side hustles our entire life, and the money we were making wasn't gonna cut it. And I found side hustles that were more lucrative than others. I babysat in my home for a long time. And with a mom with kids already at home, I was already at home taking care of kids, bringing in 1 or 2 extra was huge in paying the bills. And I got a job teaching an online course for a university that I could do from home whenever I wanted. I typically did it at night when all the kids were in bed with my laptop. Those decisions helped us enormously when it came to reaching our financial goals. And now we don't have to do those things anymore. They were a short-term fix to a short-term problem, which is get out of debt, build the emergency fund, and shift careers so you can be in something that does pay the bills a little bit better. Side hustles are the way to go. I did an entire video on side hustles. It's this one right here. I did it really recently. I'll leave it below for you. If you wanna go see like exactly what I recommend right now, these are real things and they're gonna take a little bit of work, but they work. And you can make a whole lot of money trying out some of these extra jobs to give you a few steps forward in your goals of getting out of debt, saving for an emergency fund, and then moving on to the next step. I know you guys can do it. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you later.